Cruise ships might be fun for tourists, but they do a lot of damage to the environment. Sulfur emissions from their engines are particularly harmful to public health. Well, the UN International Maritime Organization has defined a new set of rules to cut sulfur emissions from cruise ships starting in 2020. In Italy, many ships drop anchor in Civitavecchia. That is the nearest cruise ship port in Rome. So its residents are exposed to high levels of air pollution. But how exactly is it? How high is it? A German expert went to find out.
It's first thing in the morning, and the air in Civitavecchia is already bad. Several ferries have arrived from Sardinia. The smoke from their stacks spreads out across the entire area. German pollution expert Axel Friedrich has been asked to check the levels of ultrafine particulate matter emitted by the cruise ships that also dock here. His gauge is already registering 25,000 particles per cubic centimeter just with the ferries in the port.
Normally in a harbour by the sea, you'd expect the basic value to be under 1,000 particles per cubic centimetre. Here we can't apply that basic value, as we already have so many trucks and ships around with their engines running, so we already have quite a high level of pollution.
The first cruise ship then appears, emitting puffs of black smoke. Axel Friedrich measures the ultrafine particles coming from it. Once breathed in, these particles spread throughout the body. His gauge now registers more than 43,000 nanoparticles per cubic centimetre. Together with a group of Italian environmental activists, he begins another series of measurements. A third cruise liner has now pulled into the harbour. While the passengers are off visiting the Colosseum in Rome, the waiting ships dwarf everything else around them. At first, the values aren't that high, but then the particle gauge shoots up once again, the cause this time tugboats. The activists come from the Italian NGO Cittadini per l'Aria, or Citizens for Air. They want these tests to become standard in ports.
No one initially thinks about air pollution coming from ships, yet it's a long-standing problem in port cities and has serious implications for people's health. The values that we've measured today are very, very high.
Right alongside the cruise ships, the gauge measures over 50,000 ultrafine particles per cubic centimetre and higher. Proof enough that these giant vessels are polluting the air in the port. The values are even higher than on a busy highway.
If this ship were on land, it wouldn't be allowed to operate. It's like a power station. But unlike a power station, it's not subject to restrictions.
Back on land, members of the city council are waiting to see the results. The findings fit with recent studies on health issues in Civitavecchia.
The latest study was published a year ago and highlights a series of chronic illnesses among the local population that are closely linked to air pollution. The rate of these illnesses is way above the regional average. We're talking about respiratory problems, cancer, kidney disorders.
760 cruise ships call at Civitavecchia every year, bringing 2.2 million passengers. This kind of tourism has become the town's biggest source of income. There are no legal limits on ultrafine particles, and the heavy oil used to power the ships is not illegal either. So the huge cruise liners continue to pump out their dangerous pollutants in this otherwise beautiful environment.